6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. Let me check I am connected to the right mic. It looks like I am. What is up people? Hope everyone's doing well. As always guys, a bunch of markets to get through, coming to the end of the week. Currently in a position, we'll go through that as well. If you do have any requests, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to drop it in the chat and we will discuss, of course, as always. What's up Livia? Hope you're doing good. Morning. Yes, we can go through Aussie CAD as well, no problem. I'm on a sell and Euro CAD for a buy. Okay, interesting, pretty active. Yeah, we'll go through those markets. I'll first go through the DXY USD majors, but then I'll take a look at Aussie CAD and Euro CAD for you. Absolutely. Ferragams, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Took a buy on gold. Interesting. I did see gold take a bit of a tumble yesterday. I'm still pretty bullish on gold, so my bias is still very much expecting higher prices. But of course, we'll take a look at that as well. So I think we'll just get straight into it, to be honest. We shall start with the DXY, which was very bullish yesterday. Now, I said I do have a bullish bias, but I'm just going to play it candle by candle because I'm not necessarily expecting a big move. You know, price is coming into some bearish territory. If we look to our left here, you know, this is areas where I'm not so keen to be buying into or holding, you know, a big buy position, because if I do expand to the higher time frame, I'm still seeing lower lows and lower highs. For the most part, this is bearish. Now, it does look like we are coming to an end or bottom of that trend. You can see prices starting to bottom out. We've gone from making lower lows to now equal lows. You know, perhaps eventually price is going to do something like that. That could be the case, but not guaranteed. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but I wouldn't say it's high probability just yet, especially as we come to this area. You know, if we're going to sell off, this would be the place for it. So I did have a bullish bias yesterday for the dollar. I was buying dollar CAD as well. So that was the plan, but I was always a little bit skeptical about how far we will move, and I still am, to be honest. We did have a nice kind of 2-3 candles there to the upside, so really nice move. But now we're starting to slow down again. I still think dollar strength is present. I still think we're likely to see another push, but I'm just going to be playing it very cautious. And you'll see my opinion as we go through some other USD pairs. So if you are looking at the DXY, for now, I would still say intraday buys are the best bet because you're not looking to stay into the market too long, and you can still take advantage of the current strength, which of course is to the upside. So if I drop to like the hourly chart, you know, if you get a pullback to retest this area, that would be a great place for a buy. Now, I like what we're seeing already. It's fairly corrective on the way down, which means that, okay, this is where the momentum is. This is where, you know, the price is likely heading towards still. And now this is just probably a breather, a pullback for us to find our feet before continuing. So the price action is looking pretty attractive, I must say. Clear pullback phase, clear impulse phase, and it would be very nice if you could have a retest of this zone. Maybe one attempt to the upside, failure, come back down, test the zone, and that's where we find a buy. That would be a very nice opportunity. Maybe some shorts on euro or pound. But yeah, dollar for now, still intraday bullish. But again, as we push high, I'm just being a bit more cautious. We are still trading in that bearish zone on our left there. So I'm not looking for like a big swing. It's kind of just playing it, okay, day by day. So that's very much my take there with the dollar. In terms of euro dollar, basically the inverse. In terms of, okay, we're still seeing momentum to the downside. We're still breaking through lows. And we probably still have another push lower. But again, as we come to this area, I'm a bit more cautious. So again, I would suggest dropping to lower time frames to look to trade this one. This move looks pretty corrective to me. You've got a similar area to the DXY over here. Nice consolidation. very powerful move lower yesterday. I would suggest if you can pull back into that, that could be a very smart play for a short and an area which we could look for continuation. So euro dollar to me, still looking pretty bearish. Shorts are still the best bet. We've already had quite a big move, so I'm no longer looking for like another big move for euro. It's more so just kind of intraday pullback opportunities back to prior lows, and then we'll see how price reacts. If we do end up breaking through this low, that's what would be very significant for me, and that's what could really change my whole bias with euro in terms of the daily trajectory. In terms of this bullish trend might start being bearish if we take out this low, but of course we're still very far away from doing that. So yeah, euro is still looking pretty weak. If you are looking at opportunities, I would still be looking to short euro, to be honest, and there's some nice opportunities there for a pullback for some more downside. Now pound USD is actually a pair which I really like, and this is probably a pair which I'm going to focus quite a lot next week. I mean, I'm going to focus on it today as well, but I don't think I'll get the opportunity I'm looking for today. But next week, perhaps there will be an opportunity for me, because we've had a very significant close on the daily chart yesterday, and it looks as if price is just on a one-way ticket back to this low here. Really powerful support. It looks to me that this support level is finally giving way with that close yesterday. So simply just looking from one level to the next. If price breaks through this level, where we're going to the next level, and that would be this area presumably. So very bearish for pound. Of course, USD strength is still in the market. As long as that remains, we should be seeing pound USD continue to fall. If we suddenly do close back above this zone, that's what would make me rethink my bias. But until then, I'm very short bias, looking for a push into 1.32, 1.315. So very keen intraday for shorts on pound USD. If I scale down to like a 15-minute chart, we did get an attempt at a continuation this morning. Failed at the lows here, didn't quite rip through. Bit of a bounce, we pushed back into resistance. Almost a bit like a consolidation. I'm not so interested in shorting now. What would be nice for pound is if we could pull back and retest this low here. That would be very nice. So that's why I said I'm not too sure if we get the opportunity this week. I think what could happen, we might spill over, and then next week early, we might get the retest of this zone. So this might turn into a bit of a consolidation, and then the retest there might be a nice opportunity early next week, and that's the move potentially look to profit on. But yeah, in terms of direction, pound USD, pretty smooth sailing for me right now. As long as we don't break back above 1.335, I'm very bearish on pound, looking for a push into this low here. And yeah, just waiting on a good pullback opportunity, really. Not trying to overthink it, but pound, really like the opportunity. Momentum's with the bears, broken for a key level of support. The odds of us pushing back down to this low, I would say, is pretty high. So just looking for a good opportunity to trade it. Dollar CAD, I was long on this one, managed to catch a really nice move to the upside. I did take most of my profit at the high here, but I did leave some running to around 1.40250. There was a lot of momentum there yesterday for dollar CAD. Really nice area in the entry. It was very choppy, I must admit, and I did say I would have wanted a slightly better entry, because the entry was kind of like near the 50% of that range, which is not really great. I would have liked an entry like kind of there, but that's the only entry I had on the 2-hour chart. But the reason why I took the trade is because price did spike through really well, because of course this is our range. This is where price is kind of just bouncing back and forth, and I always say when price is in that consolidation, you want to be working at the extremes, either the low or the high. And again, after we had that wick to the downside taking out that low, that was my signal to say, okay, potentially early buys have been taken out. Now potentially we could see the push, which basically happened, but it did take some time. Price did come back. It almost actually took me out the trade, retested that low, and then eventually we did see some nice momentum yesterday, smash into the high, and then we went a little bit further there as well. The thing is, I didn't really have any other further targets for dollar CAD. This was my main target, the high. I wasn't necessarily looking to the left saying, okay, I'm targeting an area over there. It was more so there was a lot of momentum in the market, so I just held a bit of my position just to see how far we could go. That 4-hour candle just kept pushing, and then just before it closed, I just decided to take the rest of the profits there. But yeah, very nice move on dollar CAD. I was already short on this pair. I'll probably do a more detailed analysis probably in a separate video, because I was actually short on this pair around here, and then I closed the trade there, because it didn't look like the momentum was going in my favor at the time. So I switched to buys and managed to catch that move there. So it was a kind of an interesting situation, but I think I'll go probably create a separate video on that to go in a bit more detail. But yeah, dollar CAD for now still looking pretty bullish here. So that's your consolidation. It would be very nice for another retest of that and just more upside. A lot of momentum in the market. It doesn't look like price is respecting this supply zone on the left here. I'll just stay with that bullish bias for now and just keep looking for healthy pullbacks and good buying opportunities there. In terms of Aussie dollar, that one was a little bit awkward, just a bit back and forth, although I do think there's opportunity here for Aussie dollar. I quite like the push back into the low here at 0.652. We had a very violent bearish candle there. Of course, pretty much all the USD pairs did that. I was actually looking to see if I could short this morning, to be honest. I like the retest there, but I was looking for a double top or like a flag pattern to form before taking. I don't like taking single moves. From my experience, more difficult to take. I like it when price creates resistance, respects it, or maybe slightly takes it out, and then I take the trade. But anywho, shorts look really good for Aussie dollar. Again, pretty bearish bias on the USD pairs with the bullish bias on USD itself. So I'm expecting more downside back into 0.652. So it would be nice if we can get something like that. Otherwise, we may just spill over from here. So yeah, that could be the case. But that's more so what I'm interested for, an actual entry, a trade, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, really looking really bearish there on Aussie dollar. More downside expected. New Zealand dollar looking pretty bearish too, although kind of failed at the lows there a little bit. But again, if I go to the daily chart, everything is pointing down for New Zealand dollar. So the bias has been bearish for a while now, and we've been pretty continuous with these lower highs. So long term, we could still see New Zealand dollar make a push to support here. And as long as we maintain these lower highs, I think just keep sticking with the bearish bias for now. I'm not really seeing a clear-cut opportunity to sell. The price is still kind of trading at an awkward area, I would say. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we could maybe pull back a little bit deeper into here. At least we're coming back into supply. It makes a bit more sense for a short. But quite frankly, there look like better opportunities elsewhere in other USD pairs. So that's where my focus would be for now. But yeah, still very bearish New Zealand dollar. As long as we maintain those lower highs, I would maintain that bearish bias. As for gold, a bit of a drop yesterday, but still very, very bullish. I did talk about some longs. I said if price can take out this low here and perhaps bounce there could be some nice longs, but you can see in hindsight we did not get any rejection in that area. We actually had a much deeper move to the downside than I originally expected. Kind of like a double top and price breaking the neckline there, so very, very interesting. Now, I do think for gold, interesting. Okay, I might look to take a short on gold. Yeah, I might take a short on gold actually. Yeah, I might take a short on gold. That's actually looking pretty good. Depends how this bearish candle does close, but I'm liking how we're set up. Let me invert the chart. Yeah, I might take a long on gold here. It would be a little bit nicer if price actually tested this area. I know we're getting the breaking test of that low. Nice if we kind of poked our heads into that and then recovered, because I like how price is just taking out this high here. And I don't mind the short on the recovery. And just again, simply push to lows, maybe a bit further as well. Gold does have that tendency to drop pretty hard too. So yeah, I might actually keep an eye on this gold position. I wasn't planning to take another trade this week because I already had Euro Aussie at the start of the week, which is more or less break even. Then I had my dollar CAD short originally, which was a small loss. Then I had the dollar CAD win. And I'm currently still in Euro CHF longs as well. But I quite like this. I might take it on reduced risk because Again, it's gold, and I did say that I'll probably call it a week, but I quite like this opportunity here. So I'll probably take it and reduce risk. But yeah, it's still an aggressive trade. It's similar to the gold trade I had like 2-3 weeks ago. When was it? Over here somewhere. Shorts there. Might have another stab. Interesting. Okay, I want to quickly come back to that. Let me go through silver, because I quite like what I'm seeing. I mean, overall, I'm still bullish on gold, but I like the intraday short there. Silver, okay, silver's looking very bullish. So this is awkward because silver's still looking strong. Do I really want to short gold, knowing that gold is silver's still strong? I mean, I did last time. It did provide a nice trade. It's just not an optimal confluence. You kind of want to see signs of silver struggling as well when you're shorting gold and vice versa. I mean, silver is coming back to highs, and we could reject this area, but we're not really seeing any signs just yet. I mean, I'm not seeing much of an opportunity, to be honest, with silver. I mean, we've just gone and created new all-time highs, to be honest. We've just gone past 50, which could be cause for a pullback at some point, but yeah, not really seeing any signs of that just happening. We've just got a very strong close in the 4-hour candle there. So silver's still looking pretty bullish. In terms of opportunities, I would say pullbacks back into here look good for a buy. That could be nice. Again, intraday position, more so 30, maybe 15 minute, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, silver's still looking bullish, so that's not optimal to short gold. But I really do like what I'm seeing with gold there, so I might just reduce it. I mean, I haven't got the entry yet. I need this to close with some aggression, which is will close in 6 minutes, but we'll see. I'll quickly go through Aussie CAD and Euro CAD for Livia before I do forget. Let me split the screen so I can keep an eye on gold there. But yeah, silver, gold's looking interesting. Let me say hello to some people. What's up, Stress Relief? No, I have not. Well, I have taken a short trade on gold. Maybe the past 3 weeks. It was back over here. So I did take a short there, but I haven't actually taken any buys, funny enough, which is probably not good on my part because I should have been a bit more aggressive with gold. I have been trading, but other pairs, I mean, the past week I've been traveling, so I wasn't actually looking at the charts that last week, but the 2 weeks prior to that, I have been trading other pairs. Probably should have focused a bit more on gold. In my defense, there probably wasn't really many opportunities unless I did scale to the 15-minute chart. And I've only been trading the 15-minute chart for about three and a half weeks now. On the 4-hour time frame, I just haven't seen anything. Gold's been way too bullish for a pullback on the 4-hour chart. So from a swing perspective, there was really nothing to trade. But recently, I have shifted to the 15-minute chart. And there's been some trades, but I just haven't been on it because I'm looking at so many different pairs. So I probably should have doubled down on gold, but then again, I'm just getting used to trading the 4-hour chart for now, the 50-minute chart. So it's going to take some time getting used to. And again, I'm still not trading full risk on the 15 either. Anywho, so Aussie CAD, Livia, let me go through your statement again. Yeah, Aussie CAD, I'm on a sell, Euro CAD for a buy. Let me just keep gold on the radar here because that candle could be interesting. I'll quickly go for Aussie CAD and then we'll see what's going on with gold. But yeah, for Aussie CAD, you said you're on a sell. I'm assuming intraday. Aussie CAD's an interesting one. I kind of do have a bullish bias for Aussie CAD. I'm still looking to see if price can get back to the highs there. But I'm not looking to take any buys yet. I did say I like the buys down here, which of course never happened, unfortunately. But if price does take out resistance here, that will be interesting. I'll look for break and retest. Of course, right now we're still kind of failing and struggling at highs there. Now price looks like it's struggling back at this consolidation. So I can see the idea in terms of, you know, price has had a break to the downside. Looks like it's come back for the retest of that range and we could sell off. So I like the idea. It's just, I would like to see more of a bearish trend before I would short on Aussie CAD. That's my preference. because I like shorting in bearish markets. And if I'm gonna go counter trend, it's because price is kind of like at highs. So for example, let's say if you've got a bullish trend here. If I want to go counter trend, it's going to be up here. It's pretty aggressive, but I know that I'm betting on at least a pullback. Maybe price does continue, but I can probably still profit on that move. And if it does reverse, well, then of course you're positioned well for it. In this case, we're kind of just fading at highs a little bit. It's just a bit of an awkward position. I'd rather get like a stop loss above highs here than here. I just would feel a little bit safer. But yeah, I don't mind it. Let's say if you did get short around here, which I'm expecting you did. If not, let me know. Yeah, I mean, what's your time horizon, Olivia? How far are you looking to take it? Because then I can be a bit more helpful with the analysis. Is it intraday trade you're looking at? Is it a big swing position? Because then I could provide a bit more insight. In terms of my personal insight, I'm not really interested with Aussie CAD. We're fading at highs here. Like I said, I do have a bullish bias, so predominantly I'm looking for bullish opportunities. I'm not really seeing any bullish opportunities right now. And then in terms of a sell bias, I mean, I can see the break and retest here, so that would be the only thing that would tell me that, okay, we might see a continuation back to the low here. Break, retest, might see the drop there. And if I was going to trade that, okay, intraday. Yeah, okay, intraday makes more sense. Swing, you're going to be looking for a lot, but intraday I can make a bit more sense of that. Especially if you had targets down here. Because you're not asking a lot for the market. I would say this is like an intermediate target to be aware of. To 0.92062. Okay, yeah, entered very well. Okay, yeah, that's a nice place for an entry. I would assume your stop loss is up there somewhere. So yeah, I would suggest keep an eye on this area because that's obviously where price is bouncing quite a lot at the moment. So that's kind of your first area to be aware of. If price does start bouncing there, it could be a smart idea to reduce risk or maybe a partial. But yeah, I really like that as a target. I'm not too sure if that's where you're targeting, but I would bet on price getting there. I probably wouldn't be looking for anything further though. Because what you're basically saying is that, okay, we've had the impulse, we're retesting, and now I'm looking for the next move. Which, again, you're not asking too much from the market there. So yeah, I don't mind that intraday. But yeah, it is a market which I'm pretty bullish on long term, so I'm kind of waiting for buy opportunities. I'll go for EuroCAD shortly. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get that bearish engulfing candle on the 15. So yeah, no short opportunity just yet. I wouldn't mind actually if we're going to spike back into this area and then recover. That would be a very, very nice entry. I would still take the trade if we don't do that, but that would just be a better trade if that could happen. Yeah, I like the area. So I'll keep an eye on the next 15-minute candle. If that does engulf and close back below, as long as it closes with some aggression, some momentum, I'll be happy to take a short there. So I'll keep an eye on gold. Anyway, I missed, haven't said hello to half people here. What's up, Malcolm? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. How do you think the missed news date NFP will be rolled out? I have no idea. To be honest, this is something which I haven't experienced before. I think maybe I did right at the start of my trading. But again, I would have known any difference. I wouldn't have noted that down. So I haven't actually read up on it in terms of how they're going to release it, or if they're just going to jump to the next one potentially. So I have no idea. And to be honest, I'm not really too worried. I'm more focused about the price action, because whatever they do, price is going to react to it, and that's where my focus will be. As a predominantly very technical trader, I'm focused on patterns really. So once that is priced into the markets will react accordingly, then I react to what the markets are doing, and that's where I find my trade. So that's really where my main focus is. But to be honest, yeah, I can't tell you the answer to that. What's up, D-Bar? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, so we'll go through EuroCAD. Okay, we'll go through that gold because Pharaoh, you said you're long on gold, and I'm looking to short it, so that's interesting. No worries, Bashi. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, you streamed for quite a while. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all that good stuff does really help out. And yeah, drop any queries, questions, charts you're looking at, time frames you want me to take a look at, drop in the chat and I'll be happy to look at. Euro Swiss, I'll go through that because I am actually long on Euro Swiss, so I do want to break that down. No problem if you're happy to help. Stress, yes, we can take a look at the S&P as well. Plus 963, what's that? What's up, Sage Trader? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. What is up? What is up? Almost healed. What's your entry time frame? Good question. I actually have multiple now. If you asked me about a month ago, I would have said the 4-hour chart. But now I'm actually experimenting using multiple time frames. So any time frame between the 15-minute and the 4-hour. So any time frame in that kind of range I'll use for an entry. I'm still trading the same patterns as I was doing the 15, as I'll do in the 4-hour. So the theory, the thought process is still the same. But in terms of entry time frame, now it's between 15 and 4-hour. But my bread and butter for the past like 2 years has been the 4-hour chart. Oh, okay, fair enough. No trade today, fair enough. 10:15, okay. Yeah, a random start. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Swiss. I'll take a look at the S&P. I actually want to go through that gold idea as well because I'm looking to short it and Ferrer is long, so we've got a bit of a one-on-one there. And then I'll take a look at S&P as well. Anywho, so in terms of gold, I am looking to short it at the high here. Now, I am still bullish in gold. This is very much a counter idea of the trend. I'm not necessarily saying I'm expecting gold to bleed. Absolutely not. You know, I'm looking at the higher time frames. It's still a very, very bullish market. So the shorts I'm taking are quite aggressive, but I quite like how we set up on the intraday chart. In terms of the bullish bias, I still do like the buys, but after what we've had yesterday, I would like to see a deeper retracement, to be honest, because this was a very violent bearish candle, and that's sort of where the idea of the shorts come from. I'm basically looking for the continuation of that bearish candle, especially after the equal highs we had over there. You know, essentially, price rallied, tried to continue, failed, really aggressive drop. Now I'm betting to see if price can kind of continue that. So that's the plan I have with gold at the moment. In terms of the buys, I quite like to see if we could have a bit of a counter trend and maybe find some buys later on. A little bit more of a swing bias, maybe coming back to test that consolidation. Now we are we are coming into bullish territory here as well, kind of how we've formed some wicks there. You can see prices reacting to that, hence we are seeing a bit of momentum. So I think buys from where we are trading do make sense as well. It's just I would worry about this area here, about price turning against you, and that's of course where I'm trying to see if I can short from. So if you're long already, I think you're positioned very well, especially if it's anywhere around here. I mean, you did give your entry, didn't you? Your entry was 39.57. So yeah, down here some, so very, very nice entry. I think Livia said done as well, a buy from 39. Okay, so you already profited from gold then, 39.48. That's right at the lows here. Beautiful entry, maybe entered there, but beautiful entry there, and 4K basically, 408, and that's around there. To be honest, if price can hit your target and then reverse, that would be beautiful because it will hit your take profit and then allow me to take a short. But yeah, I mean, if you're entering here, that's a very smart location. Like I said, price is reacting to some demand zone on the left there. This is where I'd probably rather buy from, but that's more of a swing buy. It's not really intraday. So yeah, we are reacting pretty well, but this is my area of interest from a seller's bias. If we reject here well and it fits my plan well, I'll be very happy to take some shorts here. So yeah, that's and yeah, I need to react well as well. Price very much could just rally straight through that and not react, and that's the case, I'll back away. But I'm going to keep a close eye to see how we do react here, because I quite like what I'm seeing. But yeah, I mean, the thing about trading is you can be bullish and bearish and still make profit from the same market. It's literally all about timing. If you're going to be bullish, make sure you're buying from appropriate areas, smart areas, and you're exiting well as well. And even in bullish or bearish markets, you can still make money, vice versa as well. So this is definitely where I want to be a seller. And if I do see price react accordingly, reject well, wicks, bearish engulfing candles, I'll be more than happy to take a short here. At the moment, not quite seeing that, so I'm going to stay vigilant, but not quite giving me an entry just yet. I am currently in Euro Swiss, so I'm managing that position. Now, this is definitely more of a swing trade. Now, I'm not looking for this to be done. Actually, let me use this chart for Euro Swiss, because that's where I've mapped my analysis. So yeah, with Euro Swiss, this is not an intraday position at all, and I'm expecting this to last quite a while. This is a long-term swing position. I'm looking for a push back to the highs over there around 0.4386. So I did take an intraday long dollar CAD and a swing on this one. And I don't mind trading intraday and swing, because swing I can be very relaxed. I don't really have to check every single candlestick. I can pretty much come back at the end of the day and then recap things. I don't have to watch it throughout the day. And in terms of risk, it's a little bit less because I've got bigger stops, bigger targets. So the position size of the trade as well is lower respective to intraday positions too. So I can hold through news and be pretty comfortable too. But yeah, anyway, I am long on Euro Swiss. Again, analysis is not really too complicated with this idea. I'm basically buying at the low of the range with the expectation of a push to the high of the range. Now, the reason why I did buy, because I don't buy every single low or sell every single high of a range. I look for particular confluences and elements to support the idea. And what I really like about this idea is that we've had a very, very corrective move down. It almost looks like price is having a correction of this bullish move here, which was pretty violent, pretty impulsive on the way up. And I quite like it because it came from a fake out. You can see support there. We dip below, then suddenly a huge surge to the upside, really violent push. So the way I see it, looks like we've got a lot of force in the market after that fake out. And simply we've had a big correction coming back into the same area which kick-started that move. I'm essentially buying from that area with the expectation that similar momentum will eventually kick in and we'll see a push back to the same resistance. And of course, I'm well positioned because I'm at the low of the trend, at the low of the range. So I'm not necessarily buying into noise or buying into the chaos. I'm away from all of that as well. So that's really the idea for Euro Swiss, a push back to the low of the range, but kind of looking at a continuation of that bullish move as well. In terms of the entry, again, keeping it very simple, just waiting for momentum to creep in. I entered on this candle here. I quite like how price was taking out these wicks and then recovering. You can see the equal lows we had there. Price spiked through, then that kind of set off a bit of a bullish move. I'm looking at that exact same pattern here again. We've got the wick there. Price took it out, recovered. That was my entry. Now I'm looking at a bullish move. So just continuing this move here, looking at the next bounce. And at least if we get a push back to resistance here, I'll be happy to remove risk, maybe to take a little partial off the table, and then look to see if I can hold the rest back to highs over there. So pretty bullish on Euro Swiss. Now, I did say yesterday I'm not expecting a smooth ride at all. Price was messing around. I'm pretty sure I was in drawdown yesterday on the stream, and I said, yeah, this is a position I'm not expecting to move smooth in my direction. I do think price probably can consolidate. I wouldn't be surprised if this time next week price is still kind of just in this area, because Euro Swiss is a type of pair that would kind of consolidate for a long period of time. Then in the next 2-3 days, we have that big push that gets us going. Kind of like what we do here, in a lot of consolidation, and then suddenly you get that big candle that just sets you on the way, kind of similar to this, really choppy conditions, then eventually boom. So I'm kind of expecting something similar to that, pattern to happen if my trade does work out, of course. So I'm not expecting this to happen overnight at all, and this could easily be a trade that lasts 2-3 weeks, maybe even more. So I'm just gonna let that do its thing, not micromanage it, and yeah, that's the only position I'm in at the moment. But like I said, I'm keeping a very close eye on gold shorts. I do like what I'm seeing. Okay, where was I? Bunch of pairs to get through. Okay, S&P, we'll take a look at that next. Appreciate it, Basher. Yeah, so EUR CHF will take, EUR CHF we just did. S&P will take a look at that next. Almost healed. Please, why 50 minutes suitable for your entry? To be honest, any time frame is suitable for my entry. The 1 minute or the 1 monthly. Yeah. It's just 15 minute is not too fast for me. That's why I stopped at 15. Because the reason why I added more time frames to the 4-hour chart, because for the past couple of years I've only been trading the 4-hour chart. But the reason why I added more time frames is just to give me more opportunities to trade moves. To trade the moves that I'm looking to trade. Basically, with the 4-hour chart, it's a great time frame. It's not too fast, not too slow. It allows you to swing, hold overnight, hold over weekend, hold through news without too much worry. So the 4-hour chart is really good for that. But there will be many occasions where I'm looking at swing, it happens, but it just doesn't pull back enough for me to get a setup on the 4-hour. But if I do scale to like an hourly or a 30 or even a 15 minute, there was an opportunity to trade that same move. So I'm not necessarily doing extra work. I'm still analyzing the same moves. I'm still calculating the same swings. But what other time frames give me is, okay, if price is not going to pull back that much, if it's going to be very rapid, I probably will find opportunity in the 15 or the 30 or the hourly to trade it if I don't get it on the 4-hour. So that's the reason why I started trading more time frames. In terms of why it's suitable, like I said, any time frame is suitable. Trading is, time frames are not really real. It's just price bracketed in different lengths of time. So 50 minute, 1 minute, monthly chart, it's all the same thing. Of course, there will be some characteristics that will tend to happen a bit more in the lower time frames with sessions and whatnot that you won't really see on the monthly chart. But at the end of the day, it's still price fluctuating. The patterns are similar. There might be slight tweaks you have to be aware to, but for the most part, it is roughly the same thing. So yeah, any time frame could suffice. It's just that anything lower than the 15s is just a bit too quick for me. Yeah, 15's like not too fast. It is fast for me, but I can cope. Anything below that's kind of a bit too fast paced. And that's just personal preference. What's up, Yusuf? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Let's play. What's up? Yeah, pound USD. I really do like pound. We'll go through that as well, 100%. I'll go for the S&P first. Then I'll take a look at pound. I mean, yeah, Asia. Yeah, gold does actually move quite a lot during Asia. There's been many times where I'm plotting some moves and I wake up in the morning and gold's already done it. Actually does move quite well during the Asia. Okay, fair enough. It's a different style of trade that I don't trade myself. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's no need, especially, you're not trying to force anything, especially when you've got more than enough opportunities that you're looking for. You can add to it if you want, but you don't want to do that off that, on a whim. You want to make a calculated decision if you're going to do that or not. Yusuf, Euro GJ in the 15. Okay, yeah, we'll take a look. Pound USD, yeah, we'll take a look as well. Okay, cool. 15 for me, slow cage. Yeah, and that's just the different types of traders. There's people who will take a position trade on the weekly or the monthly chart, and that's their bread and butter. For me, that would be way too slow. Way too slow. Okay, so let's go through the S&P. Look at that from gold, looking beautiful. That's probably almost hit your take profit, Livia. I think you said 408 around there. Almost smashing that off the park. To be fair, what I would want to happen is go and hit that area, because now it's actually hitting the supply zone that I wanted. Because earlier I said it would be nice if we could tag this zone, and we have just got to tag it. So now I would like price, of course, to go and hit your target, Livia. Don't want to leave you behind. And then start the sell-off. But I'm not too sure if we will now. We're seeing quite a lot of momentum. It's going to have to be a pretty big sell-off for me to get an entry there. If price just keeps pushing hard and breaks above this zone, then of course there's no shorts for me to take. I move on. But if we do reject well, I'll be there waiting. Anywho, let's go to the S&P. So US 500. Yeah, still looking very, very bullish. Okay, I'm actually quite liking the shorts of this one. Intraday. I like the longs deeper, like here, or even here. But I like this area a lot because this is where we had a really powerful move from, and above us is very corrective price action. So I quite like the idea of price pushing lower and then doing that. So that could be a nice swing idea to keep an eye on. Of course, the S&P is due, a bigger pullback at some point, but let's just stick with the buys for now. Wait for price to actually break structure first, and then we can talk a bit more detailed, a bit more in detail about shorts, at least swing shorts. Intraday though, I quite like what we're seeing. Very violent move yesterday. Looks to me that prices pull back into that range. And if I drop to like a 15-minute chart, I mean, we're looking very bearish already, and we may just fall from where we are trading. We may just take a big dive like that. But what I would actually like to see happen is another run to the highs, and then the short. That would be a very nice place for an entry. Again, counter trend, but it makes sense in this scenario. It's still more of an aggressive trade, absolutely. But you're positioned well for it. So I quite like what I'm seeing here with the S&P. And if I was trading this intraday, I would be looking to short it. The longs, I probably would hold off for more like a 4-hour hourly chart, and I'll wait to see if price can get back down there. And that's like 66.80, 66.60. So yeah, intraday, I quite like the shorts here on the S&P. But I would like to see one more push up, just to run the highs and then push. That might happen in New York, so keep an eye on that. But I do fancy a move back down. And then buys down here, perhaps maybe sometime next week. Then we can go into a bit more detail over there. But for now, I do think the S&P is due a bit of a drop here. We may just keep falling from here, so if you weren't already in the trade, you might have missed it. But if we do recover, keep an eye. I think that's a very nice place for a short. And in terms of GU is my favorite pair at the moment, apart from gold. Actually, I probably would say it's more. I would favor. Gold, just because I'm not really Am I live? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Am I live? Looks like I'm back. Okay, seeing here. Okay, cool. Yeah, apologies, guys. Internet is really poor, so I'm actually using my mobile data at the moment to stream. So, yeah, bear with me. I'm running through the gig like I'm running through gigabytes here, like I don't know a good analogy would be, but yeah, I'm going through a lot of data at the moment, but we're still good. Anywho. All right, thanks. Cheers, guys. And yeah, it might cut out again later on in about 30, 40 minutes, just to let you guys know. But I do apologize. Hopefully from next week it's a bit more consistent. Anywho, we've just gone through the S&P. We're about to go through pound USD. I believe. Yeah, pound USD and Euro GJ. Okay, we'll take a look at those in the 15. Yeah, I had a feeling. Alright, to be fair, the internet hasn't been good all week, so that's why I switched to data. It's been better, to be honest. It's just it cut out. Do smaller stream if need be. Yeah, and maybe I might call it because I think it might cut out again another 30-40 minutes. So probably when it does its next cut out, I might wrap it up there. But I can definitely at least get another half an hour in. Gold's looking interesting. You keep an eye on that one. We've just tapped into that zone and now we're pulling bearish. And yeah, that candle closes in 5 minutes, so I need to keep an eye on that one. Anywho, so GU I actually like more than gold just because it's not so aggressive. But in terms of the setup, they're both probably as good as each other. The reason why I like pound USD a lot is because we just closed really aggressively here on this stay candle. So I do expect to see more downside in the next coming days, and for price to at least be trading around this zone here. We may break through, we may bounce, but I would expect us to get there. So the plan is, can I find some short entries intraday to trade it from here to here? That's all I'm looking for on pound. So if we do scale to a, let's say, an hourly chart, right now we're quite flat and I'm not really seeing much opportunity here. I'll drop to the 15 in a moment. But what I would like to see is maybe a pullback into this area. This was like our last supply zone, which gave us our last sell-off. It would be nice to see a pullback into this area then for continuation. If not, then maybe if we do drop from here, we might see a pullback into this area for then a continuation from there. Either which way, we're looking to short it. Either we get a bigger pullback or we get a shallow pullback and a break and retest. But that's the zone we're looking for price to get to, at least 1.32. There's still distance for us to trade. If I just drop to the 15 I'm not in love with. Quite flat. I mean, maybe I might entertain. If we run the highs here and then recover. I might entertain some shorts like that. And then, of course, I push into lows and then hopefully might even see if I can be cheeky and swing it to 1.32. That would be a very nice trade. But that would interest me here. That would interest me. Because I don't think we've created a new low here, have we? And it looks like an equal low to the exact pip almost. No, slightly above it. So yeah, I don't mind this. I mean, of course, I'm asking a lot still. I'm basically saying I want price to push back to highs. And we're looking very bearish right now. We may just collapse from there. Probably the more likely situation. But of course, I can't really find a trade here. So there's not much I can do with that. So yeah, I would like to see pound push to these highs, reject, and then find an entry. That would mean that I'm just in a very safe place in terms of my stop loss, in terms of my entry. Because of course, all the early sellers, I say early, but they may be profitable with this move. All the sellers already in the market, stops are always going to be above the highs there. So I would like to see if price can run those highs, then reject, and that's where I would like to find my entry. Again, I always say I like to be late into the trade. I don't want to be the first person in. I'm just a humble retail trader. I have literally no say in what the market does. So I don't want to be the first person in. And typically being the first person is not always the best thing in trading. Normally it's quite the opposite. So I like to be a bit later. And of course that does mean you will miss some moves because you're trying to enter late. Some moves will take off without you, but the beauty of it is you don't need to take advantage of every move. You need to take the best moves. So I'm going to wait to see if we can get that. If not, then we do have this zone slightly above us, which also looks really good. And if we don't get that as well, and if price does just drop from here, then of course we'll look for the retest of that low for the next leg, which may happen maybe next week sometime. So yeah, GU looking pretty good to me. We'll keep a close eye, but that is where I'm interested in doing my business. Nothing at the moment yet. In terms of Euro USD, so I'm not really so interested in shorting Euro. The reason why I like shorting pound is because there's a clear target, there's a clear level which I'm expecting price to get to. We've just broken through one level, now I'm expecting price to get to the next level. I've got clear range to trade. Euro, yeah, you could say I'm expecting price to get there, but why? I don't really have a good thesis to back that up in terms of why I would expect price to get here, because I would still argue there's a lot of support and awkward areas here. This is still very much like an area of demand which gave us a strong push. Still wicks in this area. I'm not so sold on that. So Euro, I don't really have too much evidence to support that move. Pound USD, very clear cut. I like what I'm seeing. So Euro, although is a very similar market to pound, and if pound is going to drop to 1.32, then Euro is probably going to drop as well. Very rarely would we see pound USD drop and then Euro fly. So we probably will see some bearish momentum on Euro too, but I just think pound just a much better short. But in terms of Euro, if I was entertained by this one, if I was looking to trade it, it would be a similar opportunity to pound, looking for the retest of this zone for the next leg. I would say there's a lot of momentum, really nice bearish move there. I would suggest a pull back into that, looks good. And then yeah, I would expect a continuation lower. If I drop to the 15, I mean, all of this looks super corrective, which is something I like. I'm not really seeing a clear opportunity to short it yet. I mean, you could wait for like a break of a counter trend line. That could be a nice entry in itself. Something like this, then taking the entry there. Of course, the thing about counter trend lines is that you do enter a little bit later. So your risk to reward might not be best, but in my experience, counter trend lines in terms of their win rate is actually pretty high, because you're entering once momentum is already entered and the probability of price pushing down is quite high. So you could wait for a counter trend line break, or you could wait for a more or a deeper correction to test that zone, and then we can look for opportunities once we get there. And of course, the big query with that situation is, will price actually get there, or will we just dump? Truth is, we don't know. As traders, we just gotta be patient, have a plan, and wait for that plan to materialize. But yeah, Euro's still looking pretty bearish. I do think we've got another bearish leg in store for us. But in terms of trading it, that's where the focus would be, or waiting for the counter trend line break. Either which way, looking to short it back into the prior low. Okay. So it was a nice bearish engulfing candle here, but not enough closing back below that high. And that's what I really needed to see to actually get an entry. If the next candle does, I will take a trade there. Stops above the high, initial targets there. And then let me see if I can spot some extended targets. I mean, it's always difficult trying to stretch the trade in a very bullish market, because in my experience, you don't want to be too greedy if you're a seller in a bullish market or a buyer in a bearish one, because more often than not, you're going to see price eventually pick up strength and continue the trend. And if you're looking for like a big target, you'll get punished. I mean, I could expect price to get there, but the smart move would just be locking in gains there, to be honest. So that's probably what the plan will be. At the very least, I'll take 80% of my profits there. Yeah, so keep an eye on gold. No entry yet. Still could just be a break and retest, and we could continue. It's important we do see price close below. How long in Rwanda? Well, at the moment only for a month, but I might look to see if I can get a visa which will allow me to stay for a year. Might do a little change of scenery from the UK, because I quite like what I'm seeing in Rwanda. I mean, this is the third time I'm here. So, yeah. At the moment a month, but maybe a year. Appreciate it, Basher. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, does really help out. Hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads. And of course, drop any chats, any questions, any markets you're looking at in the chat. And if I have missed out a pair someone's requested, because I probably have, you can always just remind me and I'll take a look. Just don't spam the chat. Okay, so GJ on the 15 for Yusuf, we'll take a look at that. EuroCAD, I was supposed to look at EuroCAD, wasn't I? Yeah, we'll go for EuroCAD. 100% Bashi. I mean, to be honest, I'm not like in a permanent residence here. This is just temporary accommodation. So, yeah, I didn't really check the internet. But yeah, of course, that will be sorted. Okay, so we'll go through GJ, which is actually quite interesting. We've seen a bit of a pullback for the yen pairs, and I can't lie, I quite like it. I'm still very bullish for GJ. That's the expectation. And of course, we've had a massive breakout this week. As long as we don't break back underneath this area, I remain bullish. If price does come crashing back down below this, at that point in time, I will look to reinvestigate my bias and probably switch it around. But my first impressions right now is that this is a pullback of this bullish move, and price is going to find support at some moment in time and likely continue, and that's the move I want to see if I can take advantage of. So GJ is definitely a pair I'm interested on. Now, I probably won't trade this on like a 15-minute chart. 15 is just a bit too intraday. If I was going to trade 15, I think I would wait for us to actually see like a legit reversal, then look for a pullback later on. So that would be a nice 15-minute trade. Whilst I've already seen some momentum, then I trade it back to highs. If I'm trying to pick the low here, if I'm trying to pick the low, I probably would scale to like an hourly chart now. Yeah, more so an hourly. Now I like where we're coming into. Nice range over here. Gave us a really commanding break to the upside. And what I would look for maybe is a push and then the move there. That's what I would look for on GJ, because this has been a pretty smooth decline. It's been corrective, but it's not as corrective as I would like it to be. I like it when it's a bit more zigzaggy. Right now, this is kind of like one steep line. So I like to see evidence of support coming into play, buyers coming into play. If we don't have that second pullback, that's fine. Like I said, I would just scale to the 15 and look for some pullbacks along the way as we push back to highs. But if we do have the bigger pullback, well, cool. I could probably find an entry in like an hourly chart, swing it back to highs, so on and so forth. So for now, still very bullish on gold, on GJ. Sorry, I've just got one eye on gold. So I'm a little bit in two minds right now. But I am still bullish on pound yen. There's no red flags in terms of the longs just yet. Still looking at a very corrective move. So it's either we just kick off and I look for a pullback along the way, or we develop a little bit more here and I find maybe some entries on the hourly chart to take it back to highs. So I'm still looking for a push into 208, roughly 207, 208. This high here, yeah, 207. So I still do expect a lot more upside. And for me to rethink that bias, I would need price to come crashing back down below here. So for now, that is very much the plan for GJ. We'll take a look at EuroCAD next. I know, Yusuf, I know. Just a bit of change of scenery from the UK, to be honest. But who knows, to be honest, who knows. Might go to another place, but I'm keeping that on the wraps for now. Don't ruin any surprises. EuroCAD, yeah, we'll take a look at that one next. What's up? GPJ Forex, good morning, hope you're well. Livia, yeah, EuroCAD, we'll take a look. EuroCAD for a buy, new higher high. Let's have a look and see. Okay, so you're looking for potentially this trend to continue. EuroCAD's an interesting one. I do think this is due a big drop, to be honest. But let me not put that seed in your mind, because I do expect that drop to happen at some point, especially with us taking on the highs here. I do think price will eventually do that, but again, very hypothetical, and that could happen in like 3 weeks from now, so we don't have to be too concerned with that. I would definitely wait for at least price to start to at least break structure, start to do something like this before I start to discuss that. So let's not be too worried about that at this moment in time. But in terms of the buys for EuroCAD, now it's not really a trend which I want to follow, because it just looks really tired to me. So I'm not so keen about following this one. I like this area though. I like this area. Bit of a consolidation, strong break to the upside. We haven't come back to revisit. We've got some lows just above it here. I think this naturally would be a smart place for a buy. Now, would we push back to higher highs? Maybe, but I would expect to see at least a bounce. So I would suggest, especially from a swing perspective, that looks like the optimal area for a long. We are coming back into an area around here, which is kind of where we're bouncing a little bit there as well. If you are looking at intraday buys, I would look for a more established breakout. Let me keep an eye on gold there. I would look for more established breakout. So let's say if the 15 picked up momentum and did something like that, then yeah, maybe a pullback like this could look good, a retest of this area, and that could be a nice intraday trade. Of course, I wouldn't be trading the 15 if I'm looking for a new higher high. This should be a trade where I'll probably look to target the highs here, and then maybe something here if I'm looking to try and stretch the trade a bit further. Of course, you can target highs there, but it's a long way away. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 pence on EuroCAD. The trend is very fatigued, so I'm not quite sold on the buys really with EuroCAD, and maybe in the back of my mind I kind of do have that bearish bias talking me out of buys as well. But the thing about that is that it could still take time. So again, I wouldn't be too concerned with the bears until I do start to see structure breaking. So yeah, I would say keep an eye on this. This is a really nice area for a swing. If price can respect that, I do think we can bounce. If we break through that, then yeah, the bearish bias I just talked about, I'll start talking a lot more about that. And if you're looking at more intraday ideas, strong break in that consolidation, and probably some pullbacks of that could look interesting. But yeah, I'm not sure about the higher high. I'm just not quite convinced in this uptrend. It doesn't have the healthy characteristics of a healthy trend. So I wouldn't necessarily be confident on a higher high, but sure, I do think we can see a bounce worth profiting on, which is the most important thing. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with EuroCAD. Gold, how we looking? Okay, this candle's about to close in about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Not really providing much of an entry. But the thing is, that could change in 2 minutes. That's something I'm still getting used to as well. If it does close well, I'll take some shorts. How are you doing, GPJ Forex? I'm doing good. Hope you're well. Thoughts on today's CAD fundamentals? Don't really have too much thoughts, to be honest, on CAD's fundamentals. Again, I'm a very technical-based trader. My focus is on price action. I can tell you what I'm expecting price action-wise for CAD. CAD's been pretty weak. I think that weakness probably still continues, to be honest. But in terms of fundamentals, not paying. Oh, okay. See, I told you it could still change in 2 minutes. That's something I'm getting used to. Because in 2 minutes, that's nothing for a 4-hour candle, but 2 minutes could be a lot. So yeah, if that closes below, I'll look to actually take that trade. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Yeah, I'll take that position. Okay, let me get ready. Okay, 1 second. How do we close? How did we close on 30? No, we didn't close on 30. Okay, I'll wait till 30 minute. I didn't like that close. Momentum kind of died out. It did close below, but lack of momentum. And to be honest, the 30 looks a little bit better. I like that wick there. So yeah, I'll wait another 15 for the 30 to close. And I'll take it on the 30. To be honest, if it just pushed a little bit further, I would have taken the trade. Yeah, I'll wait for the 30. Okay, false alarm, no position. Yet. Yeah, I like how the 30 is looking. I like the wicks there, taps into the supply zone, basically a break and retest of that zone there. And now I'm basically betting that that will be a high for us to push, at least to support. Like I said, I'll probably take 80% of my profit, if not all of it. That's my extended target, but it is just a bit optimistic. But if I close 80%, I won't be too worried if it doesn't get there. So yeah, we'll come back in 15. We'll come back in 13 now. Okay. Let me go through some messages. That doji not nice. Which doji you talking about, Bashi? No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Did I go for GJ? Yeah, I did. Wow, my mind's going blank. It's because I'm focused on gold. Need a bearish body to close? Yeah, I do. Which technically we did get it, but I just don't like how it closed. I like a bit more momentum in my closures. But yeah, I am looking for a bearish body. And I might be getting that on the 30. Thoughts on CAD Yen? Sure thing, we'll take a look at CAD Yen for you. Sahid, when gold trade is active, let us know, please. Okay, we'll let you know. It is not active at the moment. I didn't take the position. I'll wait for the 30. Everything loading to copy signal. Yeah, I can imagine. Good to hear. GPJ, good to hear. Go 5 minute. Let me see. Again, 5 minutes a bit too fast paced for me, Bashi. I stick to the 15 and higher. Yeah, I like the rejection there, but it just looked a little bit fatigued there on the 15. I didn't really like that close. Again, and that's the thing with discretionary trading, which is why I am a discretionary trader. I do have set rules, but within those rules, I do allow for my experience and my understanding of the markets come into play. Because the thing about discretionary trading is that it allows you to take into account the uniqueness, if that's the right word, of every trade. Every trade is going to be different from the last one. No trade you take will be the exact same. Of course, the fundamental rules, the pattern you're trading, yes. But in terms of the price action, how everything sets up, the higher time frames, the lower time frames, the location, there will always be something unique about a trade. And because of that, you might find confluences that make a trade a little bit better or a little bit worse. And you can decide, okay, maybe I shouldn't take this trade or maybe I should take this trade. And because of that, it allows you to choose and look out for things. And from your experience, based on your journaling, you can say that, okay, previously when I do take trades that look like this or have this certain characteristic, don't normally play out too well for me. Therefore, let me not trade that or try and tweak it to make it work better. And from my experience, how candles close is quite important, especially in the initial stage of the trade. If we do start to leave a bit of a wick as the candle closes, normally do see that next following candle at least pull back of that. It may still drop, but the next candle may pull back and start to close back above, which will put me in a bit of an awkward position, especially when I'm going quite aggressive counter trend on gold. So I'll probably just scale to the 30. Well, I am scaling to the 30 and just wait for a slightly more convincing close here. And of course, that compared to mechanical trading, you just take it no matter what. So it's in my rule set to close, to take the trade on the close below the high, but at the same time, I do have the freedom to say, okay, maybe this is not optimal, or maybe I shouldn't take this trade, or maybe wait for the higher time frame. But mechanical is like, okay, black and white, you got the rules, take every single trade you find. Which is good and bad, because it's good because it takes away some of the emotional trading. I would probably say it's less stressful as well, because you don't have to put any weight on your shoulders in terms of making any decisions. It's just take trades that fit the plan. So it's good for that degree, but it's also bad because it doesn't really take into account market conditions and the fact that every trade you take is unique. So you'll probably have bigger drawdowns. You probably have situations where you perform very, very well for a certain period of time and very, very poorly for another certain period of time. And if you don't manage the drawdown well, you could be in a bit of a yo-yo situation. And that's why it's very important to have a very kind of fine-tuned mechanical strategy. If you're using a very basic mechanical strategy, probably doesn't perform well at all. But discretionary trading allows you to be a bit more flexible and for a bit more consistency as well. That rejection, nice to be honest, the 5 minute, but of course, Dick, what do you think? Of course, yeah, I'm not going to drop to the 5 minute bash. Yeah, I know you're trying to convince me to drop to the 5, but I'll leave that to you, my friend. Yeah, anything like the thing is, I could trade the 5 minute, I could trade the 1 minute. It's just I'm not used to it, and there's no need as well. There's no need. With me dropping to the 15, there's more than enough opportunities in the market. There was already more than enough in the 4 hour, but now there's more than enough before the time frames I look at. And again, I don't want to be too all over the place as well. Because even with me trading more time frames, I still want to be focused. I still want to be focused for quality over quantity. Just because I'm trading the 15 doesn't mean, because previously I averaged between 1 and 2 trades a week. I don't want to now start to average 4 and 5. I still want it to be roughly 1 and 2, maybe 3 now, but I don't want it to change too much. Oil, I haven't looked at. Have I gone through EuroCAD? Yes, I've gone through EuroCAD. I'm losing my marbles. We'll go through CAD Yen. That was it. CAD Yen for Babu. Then we take a look at oil. Keep an eye. That closes in about 7 minutes. Okay, so CAD Yen. So CAD Yen's a bit of an awkward situation right now. I'm not so keen on trading CAD Yen. The buys are a bit awkward. I say that because of where we're positioned right now. You can see we've just gone and swept the highs there. Do I really want to be buying into that? No, not really. Also coming to some resistance to our left. Do I want to be selling CAD Yen? No, not really either. I mean, maybe on like an intraday chart 15, you can get away with some shorts on the 15, I believe. Quite like the highs here. If price could maybe run the highs there into that range, that could be a nice short. Bit more aggressive, but you're positioned well for shorts because you're at the high here. You're at the high here where price is really struggling, and you're basically betting on a pullback. You're not necessarily saying that price is now going to crash, but what you're saying is that maybe, okay, there's a bit more downside. We might come back and retest some of these areas before we continue higher, or maybe we do crash. But either which way, you're positioned well for shorts. Longs here, especially after a very stretched move coming into an interest. Yeah, I wouldn't be looking to take some longs there, especially seeing what the high time frames are doing. So CAD Yen, that would be my interest. Pullbacks above the high there and a recovery, that would be a nice trade idea. In terms of oil, okay, oil's looking bearish. We're breaking through support again. It looks like we managed to break through that counter trend line there. Again, long term, I do think oil is set to make a move back to the lows there at 55.5, or basically 55. So yeah, I would wait just to see if this trend can continue, and then look for the next pullback afterwards. Keep it very, very simple. We're bearish, so we're just going to look for lower highs in the market, and then continue. I did say I'm not really a big fan of this pullback, mainly because of where it's trading. It's a very awkward position. But if we can get the continuation there, a pullback into the prior low, that's a very smart play for a short. Then we bank on the continuation. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing with oil. If you're looking intraday, I'm not seeing much intraday, to be honest, because we just broke through the counter trend line. Not the best time to be shorting here. Maybe if we pull back, come and retest the low here, maybe. Again, very hypothetical. We might get there, we might not, but I think the boat's kind of sailed a bit intraday. So from a swing perspective, yeah, there could be a nice swing that does develop in the next week or two. So yeah, that's kind of the take I have on oil. So yeah, I wouldn't advise looking for entries in oil just yet. If you're shorting oil, you kind of really want to be in the position. Now it's a bit too late. Now I'd look for the next leg. Gold pulling back a little bit down to 30. Not really playing ball. Let me go another 2 minutes before the 30-minute candle closes. It could still shift, but maybe high and likely to a degree where I take a position. I do really like the previous 30-minute candle. Nice wick into that zone. Now I'm just waiting for momentum, really. Even like the hourly close as well. Nice wick to the upside. Taps into that zone, pulls back. I like where we're positioned. Again, still more of an aggressive position. Short and gold in this climate is always going to be aggressive, but I like what I'm seeing. But yeah, I am currently in a position. I am long EUR CHF, so I do have a bit of skin in the game. But this is a swing trade, so I'm not expecting much from this position today. Like I said earlier, I could be in this trade easily for 2-3 weeks, I reckon. Because EUR CHF is a very choppy pair too. So it's not even like a yen pair which can move quite clean. But this one could take some time. It is positive swap, so I don't mind it as well. I mean, the swap's not a lot, to be honest. I don't really care. But at least I'm not paying swap. But yeah, that's the swing position I'm looking at the moment. Did have some dollar CAD long yesterday, and now I'm looking to see if I can drop into some gold shorts. Been a pretty active week, I can't lie, especially from not taking a position last week to now taking actually 5 trades if I take gold. Is that 5? Euro, Aussie, dollar CAD, Euro. Yeah, 5 positions. Where was I? Not as much as the 1 minute or 30-second time frame, Bashi. That's some hardcore stuff, man. 30-second. Okay, we just got the close. Yeah, so at the moment we're getting a break and retest of the high, which as a seller is not what I want to see. Well, of course, we could still very much close back below and still get the entry, so it's not like it's invalid now. It just means, okay, support is holding. Price looks like it's caught in a bit of a crossroad. Can't break above here, can't break below there. Let's see which way we do commit. But we are still trading at a very interesting area. Okay, we'll have a look at the DXY. Yeah, of course, the hourly is not nice. I don't mind the hour. I think the hour looks alright. I mean, still not giving an entry, but I like the wick we just had in the hour. Okay. Bashi CHF, Euro CHF as range pairs. But yeah, exactly. That's why some people kind of stay away from Swiss pairs, because they can be very, very choppy. And I get it. And the spreads are not necessarily brilliant. And there's, especially if you swing trade them, spreads can really open up. I mean, every single daily candle close, I take off my stop loss for my Euro Swiss position because of gaps, gaps and spreads widening. So when it comes to the weekend, which is tomorrow, as we come into the daily candle close today, I'll take my stop loss off for the weekend, and then I'll add it back when the market's open Sunday evening. It is a bit risky because basically what you're saying is I've got no stop loss, so if the market does gap here, you know, I'll be here. But the thing is, if the market does gap there, even if you do have a stop loss, you will still be filled at that price anyway. So the risk is basically if you don't add the stop loss back in. Because even if you do have a stop loss, if there's a huge gap against you, you don't get filled there, you get filled at the next available price, which will be wherever the market opens. So I'll take the loss here if I had a stop loss or not. So the risk is the same. But if you do forget it to add it back, and let's say price does gap there and keeps falling, of course, that's where the error could come into play. So it's important you remember to add the stop loss back in. But yeah, that's the main risk really if you take your stop loss out. But what it does basically is that if the market does have like a weird gap and then the spreads widen, which they can do quite a lot, this could take me out of the position and then price goes in my favor, even with price actually hitting my stop loss. So when the spread tightens again and comes back to normal, which will be at like 11 o'clock UK time, I will add the stop loss back in and then just see the trade as it goes normally. But going to the weekend, I will remove my stops. Hey, what's up, John? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's gold doing? Let me keep an eye on that guy before it just rockets without me. Yeah, what's up, John? Hope you're good. Thoughts on GJ? Sure thing. We'll take a look at pound. Yeah, I'm still pretty bullish on that one, but don't quite have a setup just yet. But I will take a look at it for you. Yeah, of course, it will happen a lot on all CHF pairs, crosses as well. More so on the CHF pairs, like Aussie CAD, Euro CAD, those pairs won't happen as much. Spreads will widen, but for some reason CHF pairs, their spreads are chaotic. Exactly. So imagine your intraday position with like a 5 pip stop loss, and then you hold overnight. Yeah. That's definitely wiping you out easily. Okay, so let's go through pound yen. So pound yen I am very bullish on, but I just don't have a setup just yet for this one because I'm waiting for price to... I'm waiting for a couple things. It depends. If I'm looking for more of an intraday setup, which I'll keep an eye out for, I'm looking for basically price to go and put the low in and start to trend higher. And then I look for a pullback down like a 15-minute chart somewhere to trade it back to highs. So that would be the plan for GJ in like a 15-minute chart, and this would be the entry. If I'm looking to trade this like an hourly, trying to catch the low, catch the swing to take it back to highs, then what I'm waiting for is a bit more of a complex pullback, so if price can rally, fail, come back down, and then that will be my opportunity for a buy. That's what I'm looking to see happen, because I don't want to try and pick the low here, because we've had a pretty steep retracement, and trying to buy the lows here with the expectation that price is suddenly going to turn around is difficult to do. From my experience anyway, it's always easy when price is forming multiple lows, double bottoms, triple bottoms even. A bit safer for a buy and a sell. So yeah, GJ, in terms of the bias itself, I am very bullish because of the breakout we've had. And I've basically said as long as price stays above this level here, which is where we had the breakout this week, as long as price stays above that and we don't come crashing back down below that, I stay bullish and I'm expecting price to run back to highs. If we do come crashing back down below, I will rethink the bias at that point. But until then, I'm happy. There might even be some short-term sell opportunities. Might even find a bit of a sell like that. I'm not so interested in sells myself, but I do think we can probably see one more move down. If you're looking at intraday, that is. Mboya, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Pound USD is ready to sell? Yeah, absolutely. Well, in terms of an entry, no. Otherwise, I would be in a trade. But I do expect more downside for GU. I do expect more downside. So at the moment, I'm just waiting for a good opportunity to actually short it. Which in this case I don't have yet, because we've already seen a a nice move from the highs there. We're approaching support at the moment. If I'm looking for a good sell, I want price to be at the highs here, not here. That's not where I want to sell into. So I'm waiting for a bigger pullback, either push into here and then a sell, or we break to the downside, then pull back, then short. Either which way, I just don't want to be shorting back into the low. So yeah, I do think GU is ready to be shorted. I don't think that's the right word to say because that sounds like I'm saying short it now. I do think pound USD is likely to fall and keep falling. I'm looking for a push back into the low. I don't think it's ready to short in the perspective of taking a short, an entry now. I wouldn't do that just yet. But I am actively looking for entries to take a short, and this is where I'm expecting pound USD to get to. We've now firmly broken through this support level here, which we tested on multiple occasions. We've got a really aggressive candle breaking through that, and then that should most likely take us back into that low. So now I'm just going to be waiting for shorts on a pullback, whether here or even at the high, just not into the low. And I really like the fake out we had over there. Run the highs, tried to continue, failed, and now we've just been looking pretty bearish since then. So I actually do think because of this fake out, price is likely to take out this low. Might even see some buys coming back into play at that point. But we'll speak about that when the time's right. For now, pound USD is still likely to fall. Yes, we could take a look at New Zealand dollar as well. Not my favorite USD pair, but still pretty bearish on that one as well. Hey, what's up, CS? Hope you're doing good. No problem. Better late than never. DXY Insights. Cool. Yes, they reach unusual take profit. Close all position at 99.5. Yeah, really nice move on the dollar. Congrats on that position, CS. Really nice move on the dollar. I was in some dollar CAD buys as well, so USD strength did help me too. But I wasn't expecting such a violent move, to be honest. And I said I have been bullish on the dollar, but I've been cautious. I don't know how far this bullish move is going to go for, and I still don't know really. I'll take a look at the DXY in a second. Let me just go through New Zealand dollar. But hey, the strength is still here. Looks like it's still got a bit more downside left too, a bit more upside left too. In terms of New Zealand dollar, now this looks pretty bearish. I do think New Zealand dollar can keep falling. We've been super consistent with the lower highs, so for the most part, predominantly looking to short it. Intraday, I think intraday is the best bet. I like this area here. If we can spike and then push, I think that would be a nice opportunity above the highs here into that area. I think that's a nice place for a sell, at least back to lows, and then we'll see how far we can take it from there. But yeah, to me, New Zealand dollar looking really bearish. I'm only seeing bearish structure in the higher time frames, lower lows and lower highs. I wouldn't really be looking to do anything else, to be honest, apart from looking to short. I mean, again, like I said, not my favorite USD pair because we're just kind of at lows right now. So it's just a bit awkward. But we probably do have another leg to the downside in us. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on 0.576. Run the highs, these highs here, intraday. Test that zone. Yeah, I think you can find some nice shorts on the recovery. Gold's looking pretty bullish here. No entry there. Let's see how that does continue. Okay, got new entries on DXY long. TP is 99.8. Okay. As long as US gums still closed, I'm super bullish on the DXY. Fair enough. Kind of playing that ticking time bomb. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the dollar itself, of course, we saw that strength yesterday. And we are trading in areas where I'll be a bit more skeptical. As I said yesterday, yes, the market is up. We're still seeing that strength in the market, but I would be concerned in these areas. But if you're trading on an intraday basis, you said you're looking for a push to 99.8, not too far away from current price. And if I scale down to like an hourly chart, this still looks like a pullback to me. I really like this area just below us. If price can come back and retest that, I think that's a great place for a buy and a continuation. So yeah, I mean, I'm still seeing characteristics that look bullish to dollar. I'm still seeing impulse correction, which is showing signs of a healthy trend, and the market's likely to continue. So yeah, for now, dollar strength looks good, but I still do have those question marks about how far. Until we take out the high here on the daily, then I can be very confident about that bullish bias, and maybe we see a complete reversal. But until then, I'm always a little bit skeptical. We're forming a lower high here to push down. Of course, we've got no confirmations for that, so which is why I'm not really looking to short the dollar. But I'm just aware that where we're trading, I need to be a bit more careful. No problem, GPJ, happy to help. Alex, good morning, my man. I hope you're doing good. Hope you had a great trading week. Yeah, it's been a pretty good trading week, to be honest. I could have done a bit better on Euro Aussie, but I'm happy with dollar CAD and Euro Switzerland profit as well, so I can't complain. I'm doing good, thank you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, we can take a look at BTC, absolutely. Have I looked at all pairs? I think so. If I have not, I'm sure you guys will let me know. But yeah, BTC, I'm pretty sure we had a bit of a drop yesterday, didn't we? A little bit of one. Nothing crazy. But we were talking about some shorts yesterday. I said because price essentially is in a bit of a range. So if you go to the daily chart, highs over there roughly, lows over there roughly, and price has just been fluctuating between the two levels. So I said, of course, BTC is a bullish market, predominantly looking for buys, but this is just not the place to be buying the market at all. Maybe we do break out, but I would rather wait for price to break out than look for the next pullback after. That would just make so much more sense. Or wait for price to push back into support down here or support down here. Those buys will make a lot more sense too. So if you look to do anything with BTC, it would only be looking to sell here. That's the only thing that makes sense. So yesterday we talked about some shorts back at the high. I don't think we quite got the entry of how I would like to see it. I did say we nice if price can run to the highs here, maybe spike through it a little bit, then get the sell. Price got about 90% of the way there, and then decided to have a move without us. I mean, I wasn't looking to trade BTC, but if I was, that would have been the setup I would have had my eyes on. Run of the high there, then the short. Now, what do I expect now for BTC? Well, I'm seeing we're having trouble to push down because we did see some force, but we have left behind a pretty big wick there. So I can clearly see that although Bitcoin is failing at highs, we are starting to find support here. And I would be careful of the shorts. I still think that's a nice place to take a short, but I'm not going to be as optimistic as I was yesterday. Yesterday I was talking about some shorts here for price to come back and retest this level. I wouldn't be as confident with that bias anymore. I still think shorts here make sense. And if price does make another run back to highs, I think again intraday, shorts still make a lot of sense there. But I would say if I was shorting there, the plan would just be taking it back into the low. This is sort of turning into a bit of a range. If I can short the high, take it back into support, I'll be happy to either close the trade completely or take most profits and maybe leave some to run to that extended target. But this is proving to be a significant support level, especially with these wicks now forming, which is ringing some alarm bells. So yeah, BTC is still very much in bearish territory. I'd only be looking to sell in these areas. Like I said, if you are bullish, then I'm waiting for this area or that area or the breakout. I'm not really so keen about buying into that. And if I'm looking to sell, I need price to be at resistance as well, around these areas. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at for BTC at the moment. Looks like the sun's gone a bit darker. CS, no problem. Yeah, of course. I mean, dollar's still looking pretty strong, so I think it's still right to be continuing looking to take buys on the dollar. That's still very much the game plan. It's just we could have that sell at any moment in time, so I'll be a bit more careful. But you're looking at 99.8, which is not too far away. But as you said, we're approaching resistance now, so now's not the time to be too loose with stops, I would say. If you do catch a nice run, start trading. Price could very much turn around. Okay, so for gold, not really doing too much, to be honest. So far, not taking that entry on the closure back below has been a smart decision. I was debating that as an entry, but it just wasn't big enough for me. So far, has made a lot of sense. But we can still recover, and I'll find the entry. I probably would still stick with the 30. Yeah, I just went through the DXY. Looking for pullbacks into this area, basically for some longs. Still quite bullish on the dollar for now. The joiners, what's up? Aussie NZD, that's been super bullish. Was that back at highs? Not quite. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe, does really help out. So yeah, in terms of Aussie NZD, now this is a super bullish market. It's testing some major resistance now. Of course, we could still break through this, but I wouldn't necessarily bank on that, especially not for trade either. Let me scale right down. I like the buys here, you know. I like the buys here. If price can take up this low here, this could be a very nice trade on like an hourly, even 4-hour chart. Position yourself off this demand zone. You're back in that support after such a powerful move, and then better going to push back to resistance. So I quite like what I'm seeing there actually with Aussie New Zealand dollar. This is the setup I'll be interested in. Still looking to continue the higher highs and higher lows, but that looks really good to me. This could be a nice trade maybe early next week. So yeah, pretty bullish on Aussie NZD. Okay, come more bullish now. Yeah, same here. Today short the DXY because of the weekly candle. I mean, what you would be expecting the DXY to pull back essentially. Yeah, the weekly candle is looking super bullish. I mean, interesting to see if we get back above this low here, because this could potentially just be a bit of a fake out. Price recovers, we could actually see a pretty big bullish move, sort of like what happened over there. Could repeat that, but yeah, we are looking super bullish, and yeah, you could see us pull back a bit before the weekly candle does time out, and that's kind of what I want to see happen. I've got some areas below which I like the idea of a retest. GU falling, let's have a quick look. No problem, the joiner's happy to help. So yeah, with pound USD, I'm very bearish on this one, but looks like we've just had the continuation there. So yeah, if that's the case, well, the next idea, I'd have to scrap this. Next idea would be retest of that range. That would be the next idea now. Because we failed to run the highs there, failed to get the retest of this area. It looks like momentum just stepped up really with pound USD. So extremely bearish on this one. Looking for a push to 1.32, not too far away. I think this is more trade now for next week. So going to be keeping a very, very close eye on this one. Probably going straight to the top of the list, watch list. Yeah, exactly. Top wick of the weekly. Yeah, I can see that. Tag my 99.5 resistance today, so maybe as well. Okay. Are you looking to trade the New York session, Bashi? Ooh, look at that. Gold's picking up. How are we going to close in 30? If we can close back below that high, I'll take the trade. It's about a 1 to 2. Got 5 minutes before that close, so that's where my focus is going to be now. Okay, nice. Gonna start trading New York. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, New York's pretty fruitful. I'd probably say London's probably my better session, but I've always been trading London and New York for many years now. Sometimes I go through phases where New York's a bit better for me in terms of entries. Again, I never really day traded. It's more just timing entries for swing. So from that experience, yeah, I've had times where New York's been really good. I've had times where London's been really good. Never really traded Asian though. And of course, because I'm asleep. Oh, okay, fair enough. They got a crap rule, so I need to trade more. Interesting. The thing is, if London's really good, you should really just stick with London. I would say, but of course, because of the profit you're funded with, you gotta make some sacrifices there. But if that wasn't the case, what I would say is kind of just keep doing London, because if you're very in tune with it and it's working well, don't broke what's not, no, don't fix what's not broke. Got that saying the wrong way around. But I would just experiment, like on a demo account or a small live account, New York session. Because if you're a bit new to it, you want to have build up the experience with it. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you're making a decent profit in London and then you give it back during New York because you're a bit more new to it. Because that would just be not really optimal. Oh, okay, fair enough. You used to trade both. Okay, fair enough. If that's the case, then you got some experience. I thought it was like you never really trade in New York. But yeah, if that's the case, you've already got experience, then it shouldn't be too much different. Okay, looks like gold's pulling back there. That is very boring gold, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the thing is, it's not an invalid setup. So although I'm not getting entry now, I can still get an entry in like in an hour's time. So it's not like, okay, I can just chill. Something could still happen here. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, exactly, CS. And that's why I'm a bit skeptical of dollar. I mean, more so the technicals as well. But we're not out of the clear. We're looking strong, but we're not out of the clear. Still got resistance on the daily that could send us right back down. Oh really? After Trump came out, stopped too much madness. Yeah, I know. I remember when he first came into power. I mean, the thing is, I wasn't really looking intraday there, so I wasn't so concerned about what's going on intraday. The lowest I was dropping was like hourly, and I wasn't even trading hourly chart. I was trading 4-hour chart, so even the 4-hour was quite messy. So I can imagine how choppy the 1-minute chart would have been, or like the 30-second time frame as well. What's up, Yoshi? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Okay, let me keep a close eye on this gold. Okay, we're picking up momentum again. Let's see if I get an entry. I don't think I will. We're lacking that force right now, unless we're going to see a heavy 60 seconds here. But I doubt it. And again, if I don't get it in this candle, it might mean I take the next one. Yeah, I could imagine. M1 would have been hectic. Because even the 4-hour was hectic at the time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that point is just not worth it, because at the end of the day, risk is number one. Yeah, you can profit on any session, but if it's too volatile, it doesn't make sense to take the trade. Okay, we're starting to pick up momentum now. I'll get ready to take a position, but I'll see if it closes strongly enough to take the trade. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll take the position. What's the entry? Okay. And stop loss. It's a shame because I'm taking the entry right at the end of the stream. Okay, we're in gold. Yeah, this is a bit awkward. Coming to the end of the stream would have been nice to set this at the beginning. And it's Friday as well. Yeah, so to be honest, it will be a situation where I look to see if I can get a bit of a move down here, and then maybe just close the trade there, because I don't want to hold this over the weekend, especially with the volatile nature of everything. I think holding gold shorts over the weekend is asking for trouble. Anywho, no problem. Happy to help, guys. Happy to help. Someone check about you are comfortable opening trades today since it's NFP. I mean, like I said, with gold, I'm just gonna focus on the price action. I will still hold the position, but I'm definitely going to hold through, but I will definitely close at the end of the day. I mean, I could be stopped out by then, to be honest, but I'll definitely close at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the news, because it's not necessarily kind of as it's normal, like a normal scenario where, like, okay, NFP is already scheduled, everyone's waiting for it. This is a bit more of a unique situation. So yeah, we could still see more. The market could be more volatile this afternoon. It could be. I mean, again, I have reduced risk on that trade as well. I'm not actually taking full risk on the 15-minute anyway. I don't know why I've gone to this page, by the way. So yeah, I'm not taking full risk anyway. So if I do get kind of wicked out in a bad way, I'll just take the L on the chin. But yeah, I'm happy to hold. But through the weekend, though, I'll close it. EUR CHF, on the other hand, I'll hold that over the weekend pretty calmly. But I will remove my stop loss just to give myself a bit more room. But yeah, really appreciate you tuning in for another stream, guys. I will let you know how the trades get going. We'll do a recap on the weekend on Saturday, recapping my trading week. I'm sorry that I've gone quite dark. It's because the clouds are blocking the sun. So really nice sun this morning. But yeah, I will do a recap of my trades on Saturday and forecast the upcoming week. So do look out for that video. If you have enjoyed the stream, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, share with your friends, check out the memberships. If you do want to access my trade ideas, members only videos and added perks, check it out if you haven't done so already. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in, and I will see you on the weekend with the forecast video. But of course, streams will continue as always, and hopefully I do sort out the internet as well for next week too, so that everything's a bit more smooth. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. Have a great day, a great weekend, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.